your culture. Don't give up your language. And learn everything that you can about being an Indian. Because if we lose it, we're going to have nothing. We'll be a lost people. So we've got to keep our Indian ways.
There are 3 Native Science Field Centers, one on the Blackfeet Reservation in Montana, a second on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming, and a third on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. All 3 field centers run year-round field programs that integrate Indigenous knowledge with Western science. The Native Science Field Centers are working in 2009 to deepen their programs, to extend their abilities to integrate Indigenous ways of knowing with Western science. The theme of the 2009 Native Science Field Center Summer Gathering is Sacred Plants. At the Native Science Field Center Summer Gathering, youth and adults are exploring medicinal uses of plants, traditional uses of plants, and modern uses of plants. Looking at plants from the perspective of what they have to teach us about energy, our environment, resilience, climate change, and community.
We see the world changing, and we know that there are a lot of questions being asked how we can do things to help protect our world, which is globally. And the indigenous peoples around the world are being sought out and asked how have they lived for thousands of years. And we understand that. And we hope to bring all of those teachings, all of those native ways of knowing, and bring it to this setting, which is a group like here. It's a perfect opportunity for us to start there.
We have always been Indigenous scientists, and it's natural for us to combine the Western and Indigenous part of that. The Western science is beautiful. It is wonderful. It is good stuff. What we're doing is we are marrying it to the Indigenous science, and I think that we are making magic in our centers with our students.
Some of the important lessons that you learn might not be in a regular classroom, but out in the field, you know, to better understand our surroundings, you know, to better understand, get yourself back in tune, your spirit, you know, your mind back in tune with Mother Earth and all these surroundings, you know, and so that, you know, that they can become better stewards, you know, of what is natural, you know, a better understanding of it.
We have the best of both worlds, you know. We got the Western science and we also got traditional science that's just as good, you know. And I think that's awesome that we're starting to incorporate both of them because they both bring new things on the plate, you know. It's pretty awesome that these kids get to go through this because we didn't have these camps and stuff when I was growing up.
The kids get to experience the cultures of the other tribes and the languages and how important it is. You know, it just strengthens that notion that we need to continue to learn our culture and our language.
Today what we're going to do is we're going to honor them plants and let them know that we remember them, and it's in our language, but it's still their names, and you guys are going to help me say it. Ziam, 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 and that's a name for that plant. Well, thank you very much for helping us honor our plant.
The gift, like I said, each one of you guys have a gift. You guys are here with a gift. There's a reason why you're here. And these plants, they have a gift. They have a gift of healing. They have a gift of mental capacity. And they have a spiritual gift, just like us.
With this learning through the plants and picking a plant and offering tobacco and honoring the spirit of that plant and learning to not pick those roots, they're learning that there's a process with the plants, and I'm really honored to see that. My hope in the future is that they become the teachers for the children and that they carry on this knowledge. And with the circle that they've created here, with the 3 different tribes that have come together, My hope is with all the knowledge from each one of these students and Shante Washte with their good hearts, that they carry this forward.
That's really helpful to Indians. They knew what plants that they needed, and they knew exactly what it was for. I made this at the camp right now, and I like it because it smells really good, and yeah, I had a good time, and I think plants are a really, really good, helpful thing to Indian life and to normal life.
We did some activities with the GPSs, a little scavenger hunt, and technology is a tool, and it's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful way to explore the world around us, and that's what science is all about, is learning about the world around us. And that's a component of science that unfortunately kids don't get in the classroom sometimes. We become tellers instead of teachers, and so we spend a lot of time telling students what they're supposed to know for the test, rather than helping students learn about what's important around them in the world and trusting them as learners.
With the GIS, the plant, truthfully, I see leadership skills. I see them, they're learning how to work with other people, they're learning how to speak up, and learning how to collect data, like take in information. And that's really important in science. It's important to observe, and it's important to listen, because if you're going to do any kind of research, you have to have a really good foundation. If you're going to do any kind of scientific study, you have to listen to elders, and you have to read, you have to do your research in order to form a hypothesis and a problem.
This goes by a lot of different names. We've come up with the name Double Ball in reference to this. The kids here at this camp put on by Hope Mountain, a lot of the kids have never ever seen some of the games that were played, but yet it's not extinct, it's not dead, it's just been simply asleep, and it woke up in these kids. The games, like anything else, will only go extinct if they're not reintroduced, and that's very detrimental to any culture, any place in the world. The games go back to the creation stories, and it taught people very valuable life skills, and it also taught them how to be part of the bigger picture of their certain tribes and their specific regions. But it also went as far as teaching them about the plants and the animals, everything that is in their natural or native world.
We went on a plant walk, and then we saw gooseberries and sawdust berries, a whole bunch of flowers.
In 2009, the Field Centers have made significant progress in working with young people and adults to help them understand their ecology and their community and give back to it through service opportunities. The adults connected with the Field Centers are absolutely committed to helping young people transfer this knowledge into the future. Their commitment to come to gatherings such as this, work with young people, and share this knowledge is essential not only for these communities, but for all of us into the future. For this commitment, we dedicate the 2009 Native Science Field Center Summer Gatherings to all these adults that work together to make these children's lives brighter, and all of us in this region as a result. We'd like to thank the National Science Foundation and the Bush Foundation for continuing to support the centers and allowing us to learn from these experiences so we can share this collective knowledge with education programs around the country. Thank you.